Pretty claw-like. Here are the champions, the New York Empire, the longest tenured members of the team on the game day set. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Matt Stevens, Matt Lamar, one of the Dross. I don't know
Mike,
Matt Oletta, CJ Olette, and you must be Ryan Dross. Marquez Brownlee. Brings the trophy
That's probably
here.
right for your face, Lamar.
Yeah, we don't want Lamar's face.
Hey, Matt Lamar, they handed you the trophy, and I met. What did that feel like?
it was incredible.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's like, I don't know. I appreciate that everyone chose me to take the trophy first, but I mean, we all earned it, and it was awesome to be able to share it with everybody here.
You could hold this yourself, by the way.
No, Mike's got it for me.
What was this game like? Because clearly Dallas came out and hit you guys hard. They were tough to break. This was a game that was very close until the fourth quarter.
Dallas.
You got it.
No, Dallas is obviously a great team, and it was a battle back and forth. There were only 4 breaks, I think, the first 40 points of the game or so, and eventually our defense just did what it's done for years, and they stepped up huge, and they converted a couple breaks, and Jeff had a bunch of great plays, Ben had a couple of plays, and everyone really worked hard to pull it through.
What's a memory from 2013 that maybe has crossed through your mind right now as you sit here on this stage, national TV, championship, 20 grand, and what does it all mean?
I'll say there's so many things going through my head. Just so thankful to the Stevens and for how they've put everything into this team and given us the tools that we need to be successful. And just remembering back to 2013, all the little things, fighting for field space with soccer players, cramming into our cars for the rides, cars breaking down and everything. And it's been a long journey, but it's all been worth it, especially with all these guys here.
I have something I want to add to that. I remember in 2013, that was probably the closest we've been to being at this point. I remember when Toronto was in this position, and they had that cup that first year of the Empire, and we were the ones who lost to them. And it's great to sort of see this team just evolve from that point, and where we are today is just really awesome.
At any point, did any of you consider giving up after losing to Toronto again and again?
I thought we were going to win every single time we played them. Even when we were down by a ton, I never...
What about 2014? I'm going to be honest, playoffs 2014, I thought
we were going to win every single game against them. I always thought we were going to do it. And, nobody beats the New York Empire 18 times in a row.
You said that like 3 other times.
Well,
It's funny.
Since you beat the Toronto Rush, you guys, have won 15 of your last 16 games since then, including 15 in a row. What went right this year with all the new talent intermixed and a new coaching staff as well?
I think just having great leadership is really what started off, from the ownership to the coaches.
The people on this couch is what you're saying.
Us too, of course, but it takes a whole team of people to make it work, and beyond the players. So definitely ownership, coaching staff, everybody, just putting the time in, putting the work in to make a bunch of great players even better as a team.
How did the superstars assimilate into this team so smoothly? Thinking about Jack and Grant joining the squad.
They are so good at Frisbee.
Assimilate that well. They're pretty bad. But honestly, they're so selfless. Grant laughed a lot of my jokes in the car, so that was cool. They probably weren't very funny, so I appreciated that.
He's a good teammate in that way.
Yeah.
Makes you feel
They're
good.
just all selfless.
Yeah.
So, they're very good teammates, so that it makes it a lot easier to join a new team.
You probably have the stats. What did Grant have, like another 700 yards today or something?
Something like that. Ben Yacht's pretty good at Frisbee, too. You guys have gotten to watch him grow these past few years. Your coach called him a cheat code after the game. How would you describe Ben Yacht?
I mean, Ben's incredible. It's like his size and athleticism, it's very hard to cover. I mean, some of these guys get to cover him every week at practice, and Ben's good. So getting to see him, take that out on other teams is great for us, and we're glad he's on our side.
Hey, Matt, what's this like to celebrate with your family, who have put a lot of their own resources on the line to make this happen?
Yeah, I mean, my parents have dedicated, such a ridiculous amount of brain power and, their time and financial and everything to make this work out for us. And they've sacrificed a lot every day for the last 2 years to make this work. And I'm really proud of them, and I love them a lot. And I'm really proud of this team.
What do you think this means to them?
I think I know it means the world to them. They've sacrificed so much, and they deserve it as much as the rest of us do.
Absolutely.
Well, very good. All right, is it too early to start talking about the 2020 repeat run?
I'm retired.
I heard that before.
Yeah, but this time I mean it. Got a baby on the way. I'm done. This was it.
3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
Is it a boy or a girl?
Little Pip's coming.
Lil Pip's coming. It's a surprise.
Lil Pip. Gender reveal, right?
Lil Pip
Gender
is a
reveal.
surprise. No. Hi, V.
Not gonna reveal it now?
No.
Hey,
She would approve.
what was it like for each of you to get to be teammates with Bo Kittredge and play with this guy who wins his 5th AUDL title today? I mean, imagine doing this 4 more times. He's in a unprecedented place in ultimate and really sports history, winning with 4 different teams. What's it been like playing with him, having him be a teammate and kind of an inspiration?
Bo is great. He does a lot of little things that, I feel like it translates down to everybody through the team. But last year I skied some people, and midpoint he stopped playing and said, "That is an amazing catch." I just want everyone to know that. It meant a lot to me.
Don't you have
It
a
meant a
signed
lot to
bobblehead
me.
of him?
Oh, yeah, I got Bo to sign my bobblehead, too. So just playing with him was just awesome. It makes a difference every day.
If you just watch Bo through the time he's been on our team, we've asked him to do a lot of different things, and he's just stepped up and done them. That's great for our team. Like a player that with that acclaim, being able to come into a team, it's like whatever you need me to do, I'm gonna do, and we're gonna figure out a way to win. So that's great from Bo.
What's the afternoon and evening got on tap?
We gotta go out and celebrate before some people have to leave on
some
flight.
people-
Yeah, most of the team is flying.
Yes.
We have red eyes. We got a few hours.
So we gotta.
I don't want
I'm
to be
staying
sitting
in the Bay
next to
Area. We're
any
gonna
of you
party.
on a red eye tonight.
Yeah, we gotta figure out the shower situation.
Congratulations to y'all on winning the first AUDL title. We're going to take a quick timeout, come back with our game day crew to wrap up championship weekend. The New York Empire and these guys for the first time are AUDL champions. We'll be back in a moment.
On the backside, misplays it, and a huge leg. Go, Gadget legs. Yeah, that was sick. Oh, what a grab! Lloyd lays out on Kittredge. Oh, there's Harris getting it right back with the rush. That D was crazy. Oh, and Lloyd catches, flips it into the end zone, and the referees say it counts. That was unbelievable. Shen, can he throw it the full 80 yards of the field? Are you kidding me? You are kidding me! Holy smokes! Oh, no one guarding Meshnick. A huge error. Meshnick to the end zone. Knocked away! Five seconds. Shen, can he throw it the full 80 yards of the field? Are you kidding me? You are kidding me! Holy smoke!
Back in San Jose, the New York Empire, the 2019 AUDL champions, here with some final thoughts. Megan Tormey, Ian Toner, Charlie Eisenhood, Chuck Kindred. Who wants to start and try to put a bow on this thing?
I'll bite. I was supremely impressed with New York's throwing ability. I mean, Dallas really came out, and you watched players like Kai Marshall, Dylan Larberg try and say step for step with their person, and all it took was a tiny bit of separation, and that was enough space for Williams, Lindsley, Garvey to just put the throw a little bit out of space, and that was it.
And not only that, we saw this offense play so unselfishly, make space for other playmakers, and they were consistent when other times in the season we've seen their offense fall into lulls in the second half or the third quarter of a game. They kept their level high throughout the game, and that was just too tough for Dallas to match.
Complete game from New York for the first time pretty much all season. Start to finish on offense, and the defense struggled to get traction in the first half, but I think you started to see as legs got tired in the second half, New York's defense, which they weren't crossing over offensive players very much, was able to start getting some pressure, putting in the brakes, and this is the performance that everybody knew New York was capable of, and they put it together on the biggest stage.
Chuck, were you impressed?
I was. I thought, Dallas really didn't make it hard for them in the first half, and I thought the one chance they had was maybe to wear those guys out, and try to get those top guys tired, and they really didn't do that, and I felt like New York was just cruising in the second half. It was pretty. It was really fun to watch. The
Play at the end of the third quarter was really critical with Jeff Babbitt coming down with that grab, and he made a difficult play look easy, as he so often does, and that triggered a 7-3 run to close the game after we were tied at 19 all, and there really hadn't been a run all game long. Did Dallas run out of gas in the fourth quarter, or was it more about New York putting the gas on them?
I don't think they ran out of gas. I think they misused and missed their opportunities. I think there were a couple times when their D-line got the disc. Dylan Larberg threw it away somewhat casually when there were opportunities to work the disc a little more consistently or patiently. You said this before the game, and I think we talked about this on the broadcast. You anticipated the potential of Dylan Larberg being an X factor in this game, and ultimately his decision-making just wasn't there for their D-line.
Yeah, that was the thing. Can he have another big offensive game? And it wasn't there today. And, the chances were so few in this game for both lines. Both defenses didn't really have lots of opportunities. And New York simply did a better job down the stretch of putting in those breaks. And Dallas didn't take advantage of their opportunities. And, it was the margins were thin in this game. It's a very well-played game on both sides. But, losing Jay Frood definitely did not help Dallas. At the end of the day, though, I think New York still wins this game if Jay is fully healthy. And this is just the kind of performance that I think they always had in them. And when it mattered most, they played four-quarter game. That's really the takeaway that I have, is that they played consistently start to finish, and that's why they won.
Who was the MVP of championship weekend?
Grant Lindsley, I thought, was phenomenal. Sometimes you forget how quick his first step is, and just he can win on raw speed. We were talking yesterday about his timing in the other semi, and that guy just wins the foot race. I was really impressed with Grant's ability to get open at will all weekend long.
It's hard to separate Lindsley from some of the other cutters. I agree with you. He gobbled up chunks of yards. Co-MVPs maybe with Ben Yot. I don't know.
Ben Yot played great. You know who low-key had an amazing weekend is Harper Garvey.
Yeah.
He played spectacularly today. I was talking to his father after the game, and apparently in championship, East championship games and then semifinals, he'd never thrown a goal or an assist. He didn't have a goal or an assist yesterday. And then today he goes out there, and I think he threw 6 or 7 assists, had 3 or 4 goals, and probably led the team in total yardage. It was
them out of some
special
real
performance.
dicey situations.
Yeah, broke the mark with ease. And you don't talk about that. You see the big plays from Yacht and the big, rundowns from Lindsley, and those are the plays that stand out in your mind. But all those mark-breaking opportunities and just commanding the offense with basically, I think he had 1 total turnover. That really goes a long way to making the offense look as good as it did.
Final thoughts from the weekend, Megan, as we cap our 8th season of the AUDL, your 7th season of being involved along with Chuck. How does this perfect Empire team compare to the perfect Toronto team and perfect Dallas teams that you guys have witnessed in the past?
Yeah, I think the preparation that is going into seasons is really making things spicier championship weekend. You know, when you look at the Roughnecks and the Toronto and their perfect season, they were just better teams. And I'm not saying they didn't prepare. I'm just saying that they were able to step on the field and just be like, you know what, we're really good and we're going to play good ultimate. But to get from start to finish, the Empire really had to dial it in against their East Division opponents and then come in. You know, I would say this is probably the least strategical game that they had to play. They just came out and, as Charlie said, put together 4 quarters of ultimate that we haven't seen them do thus far. But shy of that, they've really had to dial in and tweak to get to this point.
I know Brian Jones and David Blau are fantastic and accomplished ultimate minds, but I had questions coming into this season. Can you get all of these egos and talents and personalities and skills to weave into the perfect unit, the perfect quilt? And they weren't perfect, but they were championship level. And they brought out the best in each other and played as an unselfish unit at championship weekend. And, you know, kudos up and down the board from the coaching staff all the way down, 20 on the roster, being able to buy in and make it all come together here in one season.
Charlie, you've been in New York for a lot of Empire losses and big games through the years. Did you see this day coming? 2013, 2015, 2017, when they were missing the playoffs? They missed the playoffs 2 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the influx of talent makes a big difference in the conversation around the team. But, until they go out and they can prove it on the field, in a game where it would have been very easy to have a couple mistakes cost you the game, you don't really, I don't think you believe it until you see it. And there's definitely a change of energy in New York, clearly with the AUDL championship. Brian Jones is now the first and only coach to have both a club championship and an ADL championship as a coach. So there's just an energy that's different. And, it's New York's had a big downswing over the years in Ultimate after lots of success back in the 80s. And now New York Ultimate's back.
New York Ultimate is back, and that's a great point about Brian Jones. This raises him a different level in the coaching stratosphere. A lot of coaches have great talent, but to pull the right levers, and we're happy for Brian. He's our old friend. We've all known him for a long time. So congrats to Brian and the Empire, a championship team, and I feel like we've got a championship team here on the game day set as well. So it has been a privilege and a pleasure to be working with y'all all season, and hopefully we'll get to do it again starting next April. The owners are already chirping about the big things that they've got in store for next year, so we get to sit back, relax, and see. We thank you for being with us all season long, covering the American Ultimate Disc League. But now we say so long from San Jose, and maybe we can join the celebration. Finally, taste the Deschutes IPA. I've been wanting to taste one all weekend. They've been hyped so much. Deschutes, the presenting sponsor of the AUDL for 2020. Looking forward to that. That is coming up in about 8 months or so. But for now, we sign off from San Jose. For Chuck and Charlie and Ian and Megan, I'm Evan, thanking you from the bottom of my heart for supporting the American Ultimate Disc League. Congratulations to the New York Empire. We'll see you in 2020 in the AUDL. So long, everybody.